Hey everyone, my name is Noumal Mounib, and I'm going to talk about AI agents. Before that, I'm going to introduce myself. So, I'm a software engineer and a coding instructor. And today, we're going to talk about AI, but in a different scope. Most of you guys must be familiar with LLMs already. You guys have been working and you guys have been building with large language models such as GPT, with Claude or Gemini. But today we're going to discuss AI agents and see how these are going to improve your applications a lot, and it's going to improve your overall system and make it easier for you to implement an AI application. So let's, without any wasting more time, let's just dive into our discussion. All right, so this hackathon is built with AI, as you guys already know now, and this is the 2024 variant. We're going to discuss the AI agents. So this is our agenda. We're going to start with the introduction to AI agents. We're going to discuss the key differences with LLMs and AI agents, how basically they differ, and what you can expect with AI agents, something that is additional. What is that additional point or something that is going to make your application more robust, more fruitful, and maybe you're going to enjoy it more while building it as well. Then how AI agents work. So what is the architecture, how AI agents are working? And we're going to dive into an application. It would be very simple application, but that would be good. That would give you an idea how basically AI agents can take over, not just, in an application, but maybe in the larger scope in the technology world. And then we're going to talk about real world use cases so you guys can have more ideas. You can brainstorm ideas based on these, use cases. And finally, we're going to talk about final thoughts and some of the tips that may be helpful for you during this hackathon. Right, so the introduction, what is an AI agent? So it is a piece of software that is designed to autonomously perform tasks or make decisions based on goals and inputs. Right, so autonomously performing tasks is something that is unique over here. So it's more, more robust, but it has more scope that it is going to see. And we will dive into it, how basically it is an autonomous system that is going to help you develop your application. So unlike traditional software, like normally LLMs that you're familiar with, they follow a set of instructions that you have set for them. For example, they're trained on a data. We're going to talk about that. But AI agents, they don't follow any strict instructions. So they act based on their understanding of the task and environment. So why AI agents matter in hackathons? Because they're going to automate your task, solve complex problems, and work autonomously, of course. Because when you're talking about working autonomously, that means it is going to interact with you more intelligently and smartly compared to the traditional AI systems. And they represent the future of intelligent software. And for your hackathon, they can help build scalable solutions. All right, so the key differences. All right, so the key differences between the LLMs and AI agents. Normally, we know that large language models such as GPT, we provide in the trained data, and they predict the responses based on that data that you have provided, that you have trained the model on, basically, right? And then there is this lack of real-time knowledge or world interaction beyond the training cutoff. So unless and until you do not update the data or the data set that you are providing, and you do not train them according to that data set, you might get some outdated responses or not so specific responses. And this particular thing is going to be handled through the AI agents. And this is the additional part over here. So you still use the LLMs like GPT for understanding and generating language, but this time it's going to interact with the world. So interact with you, with the users, that you're building for the consumers that are going to use your applications. And we will see how basically. And then the autonomous decision making and can execute tasks without specific human instructions at every step. So take an example, for example, an oral example. Consider there are two waiters in a restaurant and a customer is there. The waiter A is the LLM and waiter B is an AI agent. All right, so waiter A, he interacts with the customer and takes an order, whatever the order is, and goes away, delivers the order, gets serves the order, and that's it. And the next time again, the same customer comes, waiter A again takes the order and goes away. So this is a generic behavior. And this is why we say it's an LLM. Well, if you talk about waiter B, in this case, waiter B won't, for example, a customer is going at a particular time of a particular day. So, for say a regular customer is going there and, to a restaurant, and waiter B is serving him or her. But this time, waiter B is going to take the order for the first time, but the next time, for the next day, if the customer arrives at the same time, the waiter B would ask, since you ordered this before, would you like to order it again? So instead of the customer giving a prompt, the waiter himself has offered a particular intelligent, question. And this is basically how the interaction is being held. And you just have to choose, for example, if you want to stay with that decision that you made earlier for your last visit, or this time there is going to be something different. And then again, this is one aspect. There could be another example. For example, the same customer arrives at the same time on another day, but this time the weather conditions are different. So the waiter B is going to ask them, since the weather is this, since it is cold outside, so instead of this, would you like to order a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, right? So instead of juice or instead of a smoothie, would you like to order a cup of tea? Because that would be more, logical in a cold weather, right? So that is basically an AI agent for you. So the interaction between you and your your AI agent is all about that is going to make a difference in between the LLM, a traditional LLM, and an AI agent. All right, so how AI agent work at the back end? So the first thing they do is the planning. So they perceive everything that you give them, that you provide a prompt, they're going to perceive it, and they're going to plan that prompt step by step. And with that said, it's going to interact with your tools. What could be the tools that the AI is going to interact with? So the tools could be your APIs. For example, in our application, could be depending on your, you know, scope that you're working on, but there could be APIs, there could be databases. So the AI agent is going to interact with the APIs and databases, and based on the data that it is going to collect, it's going to perform a personalized, and it's going to execute a task, but in a personalized manner based on the data it has perceived. And because it is always, if you are building up a database, it is already specific, right? It's going to be very specific for your workload, your, you know, the environment that you're working on and the type of question that you're trying to solve. So it's going to take that specific amount data and it's going to respond accordingly. Moreover, it's going to, store your knowledge that is being accessed by the database, sorry, by the AI agent. It's going to take that knowledge and it's going to store that so that next time when it's going to arrive to a particular same knowledge of the same person or the same place, So it's going to use that knowledge and then arrive to a more intelligent, more intelligent output. And then finally, it's going to execute the task. It could be anything. It could be booking an appointment, sending emails, or, you know, telling weather reports or scheduling a meeting, could be anything. So it is going to read your behavior of your tools that you've provided. So it is, so if you just realize over here, it's going to work autonomously, but still in the limited set of rules and tools that you provided. So it's going to, so you're defining the rules and tools for it, but it's going to work under those tools. It's going to utilize the knowledge from those tools and then, return a personalized output. And this is basically how it's going to interact with you. All right, so an example that is good that we are going to look into is to get personalized weather recommendations for your day. And the steps that the AI agent is going to do. All right, we are going to basically enter the city name, and then the AI agent is going to fetch the real-time weather data. The agent analyzes the weather conditions, whether it is, hot, cold, how's the temperature, the humidity level, the wind speed, and everything. And then it's going to receive the tailored recommendations. It's going to give us the recommendations based on the weather preferences, such as it could be what kind of clothes should you wear, or what are the precautions that you need to take. And the outcome would be like AI agent provides an intelligent, context-aware advice to help you plan your day based on the current weather conditions. All right, so let's dive into this example. I've made this application and we're going to just have a little walkthrough of how an AI agent can help you, you know, be more intelligent with your application and with the interaction with the users. So I'm working on the Google Colab. All right, so the same application that we just discussed, we built it here, and I'm using Open Weather API to get the weather report of whatever city that I want to, choose. So we are installing the requires. Okay, so we are installing the required library over here. It is request, and then this is the code. So we can just have a walk through it. This is a function where we are going to get the weather, the API key that we are going to use from the open weather. All right, so here we are getting the response. The response is being turned, and then you know that. And if it is a failure, if there is no response, which is if there is no success to your query, it's going to return that there is an error with the weather data is not being fetched or unable to fetch the data. Then the data that is being parsed is like this. We're using city, we're getting temperature, description, humidity, and wind speed. And here is the recommendation. So based on our, data, the city that we are choosing and the API that we have provided, I'm not using database because we are only going to take a scope of this, of how AI agents work. But you, of course, you can take your time, you can build a good, innovative application and use your databases and store your data and give that data accessible to your AI agent to work on. And it's going to, be even more smarter than this application then. So here is the recommendation. We get this recommendation here, and these are the responses that it's going to read. This is very kind of generic still, but if you provided a data set, I think that would be more dynamic and that would be more, secure and more dynamic and more intelligent. So the responses would be even better. But this is just a glimpse of how AI agents will be responding you in different ways. So, for example, if there is rain and if the description there is like a description shows rain or showers, then the recommendation should be like this. And if it is clear or sunny, the recommendation should be like this, and so on. And again, over here, based on the temperature, the recommendations, if the temperature is below 5, the recommendation should be something like this. All right, if it is between 5 or 15 degrees Celsius, then it should be, it's on the cooler side. So a light jacket or a sweater should be enough. So these are the kind of basically the recommendations that based on the temperature it's going to find from the API, it's going to return you. And let's just try to run it. All right, so I enter the name here, Birmingham, and we received like Birmingham right now, it has 0.7 minus 0.77 degrees centigrade. And the description over here from the AI agent, it is telling like it's overcast clouds and humidity 71%, wind speed, and you can see the recommendation over here. So the sky is overcast with clouds, so it may not be the sunniest day, but it's still a good time to go for a light walk or run errands. It's quite cool out there. So you be sure to layer up and protect yourself from the chill. All right, so this is how basically it's working. If I change the name of the city, let's say I choose London, run it again. All right, you can see like this time the results are different. And the recommendation, overcast with clouds. It may not be the sunniest day because it's still somewhere close in between our range, in the same range. Let me just try, right. Let me just try New York. Right. Okay, it's still the same, some on the same. Okay, let's say it's you know, it's like this. This is a mountainous area in Pakistan. Oh yeah, so this time the results are different. So it's 9.1 here, and humidity is 35%. So based on this data, the recommendation is the weather is clear and sunny and a perfect day to be outside. Maybe go for a walk or enjoy some outdoor activities. It's on the cooler side. A light jacket or sweater should be enough. All right, so basically, this is how an AI agent is going to work. And you can just, have this feeling it's going to be more intelligent, it's going to recommend you better, and it's going to interact with you. All right, so moving ahead, we are talking about some of the real world use cases, how AI agent can make a difference in the real world. And you can, think about if you want to build a business application, you can just automate repetitive tasks like scheduling, as I talk about, so you can schedule a meeting and the AI agent should be able to, for example, it should be able to read and analyze your behavior with how often you want to meet and what are the times that are suitable from your database. What are those times that are best and most repeated for you when you're available for the meeting. So email responses or data collection as well. And the market research and trend analysis, if you're someone who wants to use applications for personal use, like smart assistants that help manage personal schedules, to-do lists, and tasks. And industry examples, AI agents in customer service, content creation, and even complex decision-making processes. All right, so the final thoughts and tips for the hackathon. What I would suggest is to keep everything simple. Do not try to complex it because you need to small. You always start small, and then you build something simple, and then the focus over here in this hackathon should be to use and get familiar with AI agent or how basically agents perform a single task. Then you may use the existing APIs already and platforms to speed up your development instead of, providing your own data from, creating your own data set. or something like that, that would take a lot of time. So instead of that, I would suggest that you use the already existing APIs out there and test thoroughly to ensure your agent behaves exactly how you are expecting it. And you can just try to test it out before you submit your solutions. All right, so this was it from my side, and I hope you have enjoyed the presentation and on the AI agents. And I wish you all the best with your solutions in this hackathon. And see you again some other time. Take care. Bye bye.